Welcome to science class. Meow.
Hello everyone! Welcome to science class. Today you will learn about who eats who, ecosystem. Before I discuss to you the topic, let's learn first the vocabulary of this topic. Be sure to write this in your notebook. And after you write this in your notebook, you have to write the Thai translation of each word so that you can understand the meaning of each word. And after you write, you have to read the vocabularies and send the video to my line. I'll read number 1, producer. Producer. 2, primary consumer. Primary consumer. 3, secondary consumer. Secondary consumer. 4, tertiary consumer. Tertiary consumer. 5, decomposers. Decomposers. 6, interconnected. Interconnected. 7, dependent. Dependent. 8, environment. Environment. 9, source. Source. 10, organism. Organism. 11, series. Series. So you have to send your video to my line. This is my line ID if after you record your. So what is ecosystem? Ecosystem is a biological community of interacting organisms and their physical environment. So they are a community, okay? They're interacting each other so that they will live. This is, as you can see in the picture, this is a producer, grass. A grass is a producer. Grasshopper is a primary consumer. Bluebirds is a secondary consumer. Snake is a tertiary consumer, and this is an apex or owl is a predator. And this is mushroom is a decomposers. So as you can see, grass is a producer because grass doesn't eat grasshopper. Instead, the grasshopper eat grass, and the source of food of grasshopper is grass, and the source of food of the bird is grasshopper, and the source of food of the snake is bird, and the source of food of the owl is the predator, is the snake, and the mushroom is the decomposers because after mushroom died it will be decomposed and it grows again. Okay, so let's go to food chain. So as you can see, there are different animals in the picture and our living things. We'll talk about first the meaning of food chain. Food chain is a series of organisms where each is dependent on the next as a food of source. Alright, so this is food chain. Food chain. The grass here is the producer, and the rabbit is dependent on the grass because rabbit eat grass or rabbit eat plants. So the rabbit is dependent of the grass so that the rabbit can eat or can live. And the fox here is the secondary consumer. The fox only dependent on the rabbit. Okay, rabbit eat grass, fox eat rabbit. So that's a food chain. Another food chain here we have producer. The producer is still again the grass, and the primary consumer is the rabbit. The rabbit eat grass, and the next secondary consumer is the fox. The fox eat rabbit, and the next one is the tertiary consumer. The bear eat the fox. Okay, that's they are connected, okay? They're connected each other so that they will live. The source of food of the rabbit is grass, which is the rabbit is the primary consumer. The source of food of the fox is the rabbit, which means the rabbit is the food source of the fox, and the food source of bear is the fox. The bear eat the fox, so bear is the tertiary consumer. Now we will go to the food web. Food web are the interconnection between different foods. As you can see, there are many living things in here. So this is called food web. In food chain there are only 3 or 4 living things. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 or 4. But in food web there are 4 or more, 5 or more living things. Okay, 5 or more living things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there are 10 living things in here. As you can see, they are connected. Okay, they are connected between different foods. But the producer is the rabbit. Okay, no, the producer here is the grass, not rabbit. The rabbit is the primary consumer. As you can see, there are many primary consumers here, but the food source here is the grass. Rabbit eat grass, which is the primary consumer. Grasshopper eat grass. Grasshopper is also a primary consumer. Fox eat rabbit, secondary consumer. Bird eat grasshopper, secondary consumer. And also frog eat grasshopper, secondary consumer, a primary consumer. And snake eat frog. Okay, snake. I will just make it slowly again. Grass is the producer. Primary consumer is the rabbit. Rabbit eat grass. Fox eat rabbit. Fox is the secondary consumer. We'll go here. Grass is the primary. Grass is the producer. Grasshopper is the primary consumer. Grasshopper eat grass. Another one here is the bird eat grasshopper. The source of food of the bird is grasshopper. So that's why the bird is the secondary consumer. And the snake eat the bird. So the snake is the tertiary consumer. We have another one here. So they are connected, okay? The frog, we have grasshopper. Frog eat grasshopper. Snake eat frog, and hawk eat the snake. So they are connected, interconnected. Okay, this one here. We have grass, producer. Mouse eat grass. And owl eat the mouse. Owl is the secondary consumer. Mouse is the primary consumer, and the grass is the producer. We have here grass, mouse. Grass is the producer. Mouse is the secondary consumer, primary consumer, and the hawk is the secondary consumer. Secondary consumer, primary consumer. Another one, grass is the producer. Mouse is primary consumer. Fox is the secondary consumer. Producer, an organism that makes its own food. Okay, like for example, the plants. Plants make their own food. Okay, plants make their own food. Last time we talked about the factors that can make photosynthesis. So they can make their own food. They don't uh, they don't depend to other living things, but instead they make their own food. So plants are producers. Elephants are consumers because elephants don't make their own food. They find other living things to eat. For example, elephants eat plants. So they don't produce, they just eat other living things so that they can live. Okay? Consumers an organism that has to eat to get energy. So that they can have energy, they eat plants. Alright? Remember, the producer produce their own food. Consumer eat another food of source so that they can have energy. We have herbivore animals that or living things that eat plants, carnivore that living things that eat meat, and we have omnivore living things that eat both plants and meat. Like for example, zebra eats only plants, cheetah eat meat, and this animal eat meat and plants. Okay, so we have food chain. We have producer, which is the plants, because plants produce their own food, make their own food by photosynthesis. The primary consumers, the rabbit, eat plants for energy, and secondary consumer, which is the hawk or the eagle, eats primary consumers. Rabbit eats grass, and eagle eats the rabbit. That is food chain. Decomposers like mushroom. Okay, mushroom, they break down dead plants and animals. Okay, bacteria and fungi are two examples. Reduces dead organisms to simpler forms of matter, returns them to the soil. So when they die, they will return to the soil. They will decompose and grow again. Predator, a living thing that hunts other living things. Okay, for example, lion. Lion eats another living things. Lion is a predator, and the rabbit is the prey. The prey is a living thing that is hunted for food. For example, rabbit. Who is bigger, or who is bigger, lion or rabbit? Of course, the lion. So the lion eats the rabbit, or can eat the rabbit. Scavenger, an animal that feeds on the remains of the dead animals, like vulture. Okay? So we'll focus food chain. Food chain shows how each living thing gets food. Always begins with a producer. Arrows show that flows of energy from one organism to another. So, in the food chain, they always begins with a producer. Okay, always begin with producer. As you can see, producer is the grass. Primary consumer is the grasshopper. Secondary consumer here is the frog. Tertiary consumer is the snake, and the final consumer is the hawk. And the fungi is the mushroom is the decomposer. Let's see your book, page 86 and 87 of your book. You answer this. Okay, you answer this in your book page. You have to base your answer in this slide. Okay, you have there snake, hawk, eagle, or bird. We have grasshopper and fish, and this is a plant. Okay, water plant or aquatic plant. This is aquatic plant, and this is a grasshopper. This is a bird or eagle, snake, and this is a fish. Okay. As you can see, which of the following living thing here is a producer? Okay, which living thing here is a producer? Of course, this is the producer. Okay, so in this food web, there are four. Okay, four food chain. There are four food chain that you need to write. Okay, you need to write. So you have to write four food chain. So your producer name here is the aquatic plant. Okay, you have to write. I'll just write here, aquatic plant. Make it easier for you. How about the aquatic plant? Same thing, the same, because I have here aquatic plant. So now you provide what you provide in the picture. Okay, based in this picture, you provide what is the primary consumer in the picture. What is the primary consumer? You write here. Secondary consumer, for example, I write here the primary consumer is the, in here is the, over here the grasshopper. Okay, grasshopper eat the aquatic plant. I will write here grasshopper. And what about the secondary consumer? What is the secondary consumer here? The snake eat the grasshopper, right? So the secondary consumer here is the okay, or the bird eat the grasshopper. Okay, the bird eat the grasshopper. I will change this to bird maybe. Okay, it's okay. Okay, bird. The bird eat grasshopper. So the bird is the secondary consumer. You write here the bird. What about the tertiary consumer? Tertiary consumer. Snake. Okay, the tertiary consumer is the snake. Okay, snake, something like that. Okay, is it? Okay, so you have there number one. Okay, that's your number one. Now you have to provide 2 and 3. Okay, you provide 2 and 3 of your book. Answer your book, page 86 and 87, and you have to send your answer to my line. That's all for today, and have a good day, everyone.